Hi there, thanks for stopping by. I'm GhostPrime, and this video decided to take a look at Generation 1 Galvatron. Now, if you've never handled this toy, he's a chunky bot. He's really, really cool. I had him as a kid. This is not my childhood one, unfortunately. That one was lost long ago. Now, Generation 1 Galvatron is a reformatted Megatron from the Transformers the movie, where he actually kind of beat Optimus Prime in a way. Optimus Prime died. Megatron barely lived and was reformatted by Unicron into Galvatron. Now, as you'll notice, the coloration is not like the movie. The coloration is gray and purple instead of all purple. The reason for this is because they changed it later on in the production for the movie. They changed them to all purple. But it didn't get in there in time to produce the toys. But the comic books, the Marvel Comics, did show him as gray and purple instead of all purple like in the movie. Now, there does exist a e-hobby version of this guy. I unfortunately don't have it, where he's all purple, but he's more of a lavender color. It looks okay. What I would love to see now that Walmart's doing these reissues, just kind of pie in the sky. He's never been reissued, so I'd love to see a reissue of Galvatron. Well, he's never been reissued in the United States, I should say. I would love to see a dark purple one. I really hope for that, because that would be rad if they could do all of the characters in the movie in their actual colors on the toys. I would buy every one of them up. Anyway, please remember to subscribe, leave a comment, and hit that thumbs up button. So without any further ado, let's get to the review. All right, I don't have the packaging for this guy, unfortunately, and I usually start out my videos with the packaging. However, here it is in the box. I love these old boxes. One day I hope to get a box for this guy. So getting him out of the box, he did come packaged in alt mode like this with the cannon attached. And he also came with his little gun here. And he came with an attachment for the barrel that neither of these attach to his alt mode when he's in this mode. He also came with an instruction sheet, which I don't have, which I'll put up right here, so you can see everything that he could do. So here he is. And I really like this alt mode. It does have wheels, and he rolls pretty well. Let's get up kind of close on it. You see some of the detailing on it. I think it's a really successful alt mode. I think it's really cool. I love the metal flake in this. Always have ever since I was a kid. The chrome. You see the stickers have been applied, of course. I mean, this is an old figure and it wasn't my original. It'd be awesome to get one without the stickers applied. But some of them not all in the right places, like those are backwards, but you can kind of just see he's just really a squished up robot. I mean, you can see where his arms and legs and head are. But it's cool. It's got its own charm, you know? Like, it's very, very cool. It's not as sleek as the one used in the movie, but it's still really neat. And you got a button for sounds, which he has 3. So you can run around and annoy the hell out of people with, because they are very annoying sounds. He also has a gun mode, which you just take the handle here and put it down. I think these are supposed to go up, if I'm not mistaken. I might be. Go ahead and correct me. I always kind of did this when I was a kid with it. I put it like that. I always thought this looked really cool in gun mode, and that was sort of like my personal one. And then you kind of press the trigger. Now the trigger on this one doesn't work anymore. Only the top button, but he has all the same sounds in that mode. So I don't know. I think the gun mode's sort of an afterthought. I always found it as an afterthought. Be like, oh, well, he's Megatron, so here's a gun mode. Love those clicky. Hear how loud that is. That's insane. But before we get into all that, let's just do some comparisons. Here he is with the recently released, I guess it was fairly recent, last year release of the cartoon-colored Kingdom Galvatron. So you kind of see how they match up together. Or sorry, not cartoon colored, the toy colored version. I misspoke. Now, this one did come with a green matrix. I think I went over that in the video for this. I wish this guy had it. That'd be cool. And here he is with Red Sun Sugar. All right, so getting this guy transformed into robot mode is quite easy, like it is with most all Generation 1 figures. You just go ahead and take the legs, extend those with wonderful clicky noises. Then you go ahead and spread the legs apart. The toes come around. These little parts on his belt fold down. Move the camera up. You go ahead and take this part of the treads, move those back around. And then this little tab here, just kind of make sure everything's out of the way. And that reveals his fists. Same thing on the other side. Man, I gotta say, the clickiness just feels wonderful in hand. Something I've always really liked about this figure. Then go ahead and, oop, I forget one step before you do that. You gotta move this piece up. Then you could push this down. And then turn around the waist. Oop. Take out the barrel piece. You take the barrel piece here, this end, and attach it right in there, like so. And you could really put it on either arm, but for accuracy's sake, let's put it on the right arm. And take his gun, and he could hold that in his hand. So there's Galvatron in his robot mode. So I guess before, I like putting these up too. So I guess before we get into articulation and the sound, the lights and stuff, let's do a comparison. So released around the same time was Ultra Magnus. And Generation 1 Ultra Magnus was really meant to go with this guy. They were released around the same time, and he is this height to fit in with Ultra Magnus and not the rest. Just because I think they were trying to keep a little bit of secrecy in the movie about who he is. So that's Ultra Magnus. So he's the same size as Ultra Magnus, so they could fight. You know, bang, 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 pow, pow, cling, cling. But I've always liked that they're the same size. I actually had both of these as a kid. And seeing them just brings back a lot of nostalgia even today. That doesn't make any sense. And just to compare, there he is with his companions. He just towers over them. Gotta have the trio. Oh, there is one thing I did forget to do real quick. Forgot to move this up. And here he is with the reformatting Galvatron. Kind of thought that was appropriate. So you get an idea of sort of the modern size versus the vintage size in this. Just incredibly large. Okay, now let's move on to articulation, which actually is decent for a Generation 1 figure. He doesn't have any head articulation at all, but he does have 360 at the shoulders. He can move out that far at the shoulders. If you take his gun out, he actually has elbows. Tiny little hands, but he has elbows. No swivels or like bicep swivels or wrist swivels or any of that. But he does have waist. And he has leg out to there. A little bit more. Ooh, a little bit more. If you get to there, because kind of his leg can kind of go like that. And he has knee articulation, toe articulation. So overall, for a Generation 1, that's a fair bit of articulation, and it was really welcome at the time. And as you just saw, those lights light up, those eyes light up. Now, I wish there was some way to make this light up. That would have been really cool, but, you know, they can't do it. It was the 80s. What can you do in 1986, right? So let's just take a turn around of him in robot mode. I love the sticker detailing here. The red, the chrome, belt buckle, the yellow there, these arrows, all these chromes on his knees. I think it's done really well, including all the detailing on the side of his leg. They did a really good job on this figure. He's definitely a standout figure for all of Transformers, I think, especially for the era. They did a really good job, and they put a lot of love into it. It would have been really cool to actually see him with the all purple, and I would love to see that actually happen. Maybe some of the reissues, they could make it happen. I think that'd be really cool if they had a Walmart reissue. This guy, of course, with lights and sounds, I fear the price on it probably is upwards to $100. I kind of think they would actually make that money on it. I would pay it just to have an all purple one with all the lights and sounds, and a newer one that I could actually play with. Not that I'm a fear of breaking this one. He's made super, super solid. No real metal pieces. Some of the inside pieces are metal, but he is just a chunk of a toy, and he's made super, 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 super duper solid. Generation 1 Galvatron, and you just can't do without him. Huge recommend. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for stopping by. Talk to you in the next review.